Hey guys, this is MusicTechHelpGuy, and welcome to part 9 of my pop EDM production series in Logic Pro 10. In the previous video, we used flex time to align the lead vocals in the verses to the grid and do some time correction to it. We also de-breathed the vocals to pull out all of the breaths that were in the vocals. In this video, we're going to align the doubled vocals in the verses to the lead vocals so that when they blend together and we mix these together, they sound more like one thicker vocal rather than two separate vocals. So we've got our doubled vocal right here. I'm going to go ahead and turn on flex time on that track, just like we did for the lead track. We're going to do a combination of matching words up to the grid, but also maybe matching some other things up without the grid. So we're going to do a combination of both. So it's not just going to be a duplicate of what we did in the previous video. But for now, we're going to keep the division on division, their snap on division. So I'm going to keep the metronome on, and I've got both vocal tracks soloed out, so we're just hearing vocals and metronomes. Let's give this a listen.
You got me going like a fire, got me going good. It's 2 a.m., I got you higher than...
Cool, so you can tell there's a lot of like sort of flamminess going on between the two channels. Let's start lining this up. So I'm actually going to start over here. Let's pull that over, and then let's pull this front word right there. And again, like I did in the previous video, I'm going to hold Control while I click this to shorten the front end there. And I'm essentially every single word up here where there was a transient or a flex marker, I'm going to pull that in place. But I'm also going to pay attention to some of these other syllables and try to match up the shape of the syllable down here with the shape up here. That looks okay for now. Again, when you listen to it, you'll be able to tell a little bit better. Like this right here, I'm just going to grab this, hold Control, and just pull it back. So all the ones where I'm not snapping to the grid, I'm holding Control to match up the waveforms. And the ones I'm snapping to the grid, I'm not holding Control. Let's just pull that there. And as I said in the previous video, there are some plugins out there that will auto-align the waveforms or the envelope of two waveforms. The one I use a lot is called not Revoice. It's from the same company, but it's called VocAlign. They have two of them, one called Revoice and one called VocAlign. And here's an example at the tail end of a word. We also want the ends of words to sort of match up, or the ends of phrases to match up. But anyway, I use VocAlign quite a bit to align vocals. What I'll end up doing is setting just like the lead vocal in time, and then I'll go back and I will use VocAlign to align any doubled vocals or any layered vocals and background harmonies and things like that with the lead vocal, and it sort of does it automatically. But again, in keeping with the idea of this series, we're just going to be using Logic plugins and stock Logic tools rather than using anything that's third party to do so. So we're not going to do that. Not to mention it's a pretty expensive plugin. So the difference between Revoice and VocAlign is that Revoice can do like the timing corrections and the envelope matching up, but Revoice can actually also match up the pitch of two different tracks. So you can align not only the timing, but also the tuning. So that's pretty cool. Let's do that. Those look about matched up. Now this is way out of whack here, so let's pull that over. There we go. And again, that's going to pull this out of alignment. So let's pull that back. And again, some people would maybe call this obsessive, but you know, for a song like this where I want the verses to be very metronomically in time, it's just what we have to do. It's sometimes the fine details like this that people don't really realize take this much time. When we get to the hook of the song, the build up, her vocals are a lot more soulful, a lot more emotive, less of this sort of one note, Kesha sound. In the build up, we won't have to do nearly as much of this. It won't be nearly as much of a problem because I'm actually okay with the vocals not being, metronomically in time because they're not so rhythmic either in the build up. So again, as you can see, I'm just sort of looking at the waveform above and matching it up to the waveform below as best I can. Let's go there. Pulled again. We had an end point of a word here that's not quite the same length. There we go. Let's pull that up. Pull that up. Pull that back. Pull that forward. Yeah, so some of these are I'm just snapping to the grid. There we go. This looks a little, I'm going to try to, it's like little things like this little point in there. I'm trying to try to match that up. Yeah, actually they're already pretty much in place, so that's fine. I'm going to put a marker there anyway just to hold it, because I'm going to have to change some of this stuff over here. So let's change that so those two match up on the end. Here's a little point here. Oh, it matches up. Yeah, we're okay. I'm sure someone in the comments will ask about groove templates. Can you use a groove template to match up the two? Groove templates don't really work with vocals. They work well with drums and other instruments that have very like noticeably rhythmic or noticeable transients in their recordings. Yeah, I did just adjust the top one there just a bit. There we go. How close to the end are we? And we're only about halfway through. Or not even halfway through. Yeah, we're about halfway through. I will, again, I don't have much commentary to say to this other than I'm editing, and it just takes some practice doing this. What I'll try to do is I'll put like a note in the video when I go and edit it. If you want to skip me sitting here and moving flex markers around, that you can sort of skip to the next point if you want, because this is more or less just something you just have to do. You know, it's not something I can't provide commentary on every individual flex edit that I'm making, because it's just not, there's nothing really to say. It's more or less just align the bottom one to the top one. So, all right, let's see. That looks like it needs to go there. That looks like it needs to, we can just snap that to the grid. Pull that forward a little bit. Pull that forward a little bit. Yeah, this is easy to do when your backing vocal and your lead vocal are the same singer. It's a heck of a lot harder if you try to do this and your backing vocalist is a different vocalist than the lead vocalist, because I've done that before where we have backing vocalists that are like the backing harmonies are like a different singer than the lead vocalist, and that can get troublesome because the waveform of, especially say like a male singer down an octave or in a different harmony than say a female vocalist like we have in this case, the waveforms do not look anything alike. So that really becomes tricky when you try to match different singers together. But when you're working with a singer that essentially sings the same way every time, the waveform comes out to be relatively similar. All right, was this one of those little things? I thought we cut those out. Maybe not. Those little hiccups. Maybe I didn't cut that one out. I'm going to try moving this one forward just a little bit like that. It may sound wonky, but we can go fix it later if it sounds weird. Again, keep in mind that this layered vocal is going to be pretty far back in the mix. It's, again, just going to be here to thicken the vocals. It's not going to be really forward in the mix. It's not going to be noticeable as a doubled vocal. Let's see. I think that's okay. There we go. Let's pull that there. Actually, that was okay. Pull that forward. Pull that back. Pull that back a bit. Yeah, this is kind of weird here. We've got this one there and this one here. Sometimes when I have to make big drastic changes like this, I'll pull one back a little bit and then pull one forward a little bit, just sort of meet in the middle, more or less. There you go. Let's pull that forward to like there. Let's pull that back. Looks like it, yeah, it looks like it matches up just fine. There we go. Yeah, this one looks like we put it intentionally a little bit ahead of the grid. I'm going to pull this back. There we go. Pull that back a bit. Try pulling this back over here, and then line up the tail end of those two waveforms there. Let's pull this forward a little bit. I'm going to match up these two little bumps, and then pull this back. There we go. Now this is a little weird. Let's pull that. Let's try pulling this forward. One mistake I keep making, and it's just like habit, is you have to, when you use the control button to turn off the snap mode, you have to click, then hold control to do it. Because if you hold control and then click, it just pulls up the right click menu. So I keep, as you've seen, I've made that mistake a few different times. Let's pull that forward. Let's do that. Let's pull that forward. And just pull that just back just a touch. There we go. All right, so for the tail end word here, I'm going to keep this last one long. I'll explain later, but there's a couple words from the bottom vocal that I want to swap out into the top vocal, and this last word is one of them. So I'm going to leave that as is for now. We'll worry about that later. All right, so we've got our doubled vocal lined up with the lead vocal. Let's give it a listen.
You got me going like a fire, got me going good. It's 2 a.m., I got you higher than she ever could. Just let me give you all the secrets to my fantasies. I promise every night that I will have you begging, please. You got me going like a fire, got me going good. I promise every night I'll treat you like she always should. You got me going, got me burning, got me going good. I promise every night I love you like she never could.
Yeah, I like how this bottom one's got that little breath on it, but we'll swap that out later. So again, what we're going to do with the doubled vocals, we're going to pull it down in the mix quite a bit. We've already got it panned over to the right a little bit. Let's listen to the whole verse with both vocals in now.
You got me going like a fire, got me going good. It's 2 a.m., I got you higher than she ever could. Just let me give you all the secrets to my fantasies. I promise every night that I will have you begging, please. You got me going like a fire, got me going good. I promise every night I'll treat you like she always should. You got me going, got me burning, got me going good. I promise every night I love you like she never could. Tell me how you love.
And there you go. So I'm going to do the same thing to the second verse. I'm going to do this one off screen. I'll edit it out, and I will be right back. All right, so off screen, I got the second verse all lined up. Let's give that a listen, just soloed with the metronome, and then we'll listen to it with the music.
We keep on rolling like a fire, like we always should. There's no one else I'd rather be with, but you know I could. It's 3 a.m., I got this feeling that will never leave. Just tell me everything that you could ever want from me.
There you go. Let's listen to it with the music in.
We keep on rolling like a fire, like we always should. There's no one else I'd rather be with, but you know I could. It's 3 a.m., I got this feeling that will never leave. Just tell me everything that you could ever want from me.
Cool. So in the next video, what we're going to do is we're going to print down these stems here with all the flex edits in them. We're going to swap out a few words because there's just some spots in the doubled vocal that I like better than what's in the lead vocal. And then we're going to use flex pitch rather, to tune up all of the vocals in the verses. And there's also some other things mix-wise that we're going to do to further hide the doubled vocal, because right now, if I pull it up any further, some of her consonants, especially the S's, are going to come through, and it's noticeable that it's two vocals rather than one. So if we filter out some of the high end, we're actually going to be able to pull up the doubled vocal a little bit and better layer it underneath the lead vocal. Remember, if you'd like to work along with me, the session is available for purchase and download. I'll make sure I include a link in the video description below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.